How's it going? I want to apologize to my bio students today because it turns out that there is no such thing as a voiceover for the karyotype notes. Frankly, I made a set of karyotype notes a couple years ago that I decided I'm going to use. So here we go. All right, so this is just a review. You don't need to worry about this. This is just looking at mitosis. Review prophase to metaphase to anaphase to telophase. Top cell there is probably an interphase. Normal cell functions happening. Good to know for the test. I thought I'd throw it on there as a nice reminder. Two types of cells that we need to know about. We have somatic cells and we have gametes. Somatic cells are going to be what I would consider regular cells. So any cell in your body that is not a sex cell. So skin, muscle, bone, all those types of cells. Another good one is red blood cells. They are going to be what we call somatic or body or regular cells. And they are this term that is called diploid, which we are going to talk about soon. Gametes are haploid, which if you look at the word, haploid kind of makes references like half almost. So gametes have half the number of chromosomes. They only have 23 chromosomes, whereas a regular human cell has 46. You think about it in terms of mating, a sperm and an egg, 23 chromosomes, 23 other chromosomes combined together and give you 46. So that's where that number comes from. And a chromosome, just as a review from our talk on mitosis, is basically, I like to say, crumpled up DNA. So this yo-yo here is kind of my picture I'm going with. And basically, the DNA is like string and it kind of binds and twists on itself, and that's kind of what's going on here specifically. So that's kind of the same thing, I guess. Again, these notes are meant for if I have students listening, so some of this weird stuff over here, like draw a chromosome below, I would have you guys do that, but you don't need to do it. Chromosomes, tightly compact DNA, and they are only going to be in an X or kind of Y form during cell replication or the time where we make new cells. Let's move my face here for a second. That was a fail, sorry. What are some examples of human genes or traits? And where do these genes come from? So actually, it's kind of cool. If you looked it up on Google, there's a website where you can actually see which chromosome each trait comes from. For example, this trait might come from chromosome 6, and this one might come from chromosome 13. But we're not going to focus too much on that. So some examples of genes or traits might be hair color, might be eye color. Sometimes it has to do with things like if you look at your hand, it's kind of a fun one. See if I can put mine on screen. My ring finger, which is here, it's kind of backwards, sorry, is actually longer than my index finger. That's a genetic trait as well. When I fold my hands like this, my right thumb tends to want to go on top of my left thumb. That is also a genetic trait that we don't really think about, but kind of cool. Where do they come from? They come from our chromosomes. So again, every human body cell, except a sperm or egg, has 46 chromosomes. That should be the goal. We always get 46 chromosomes. That's what we're looking for. 23 from mom, 23 from dad. Does this mean we have 46 genes as well? Well, that begs the question, what is larger, a gene or a chromosome? The answer is a chromosome is significantly larger. A gene is a small segment of DNA that codes for a trait. We might have thousands of those genes on a single chromosome. We have a lot more than 46 genes, I'll tell you that much. All right. Somewhere between 19 to 20,000 genes in 46 chromosomes. That's a lot of genes. Just kind of for fun. You don't need to memorize any of this, but I like to show this slide mainly because whoever made it, not me, did a really poor job of spelling. Like kicking down here, that's a good one. There's another one somewhere. they spelled wrong. I can't remember which one. Amoeba, that's spelled wrong. Nice job. Just for fun to kind of look at it, what is the case in other organisms? If you take a look, I would think humans are pretty complex. We have 46 chromosomes. Crayfish have over 100. Where does that come from? I don't know. It's pretty intense. Then you look at something like a mosquito, it only has like 6 chromosomes, and I'm kind of telling myself, like, what's going on there? Mosquitoes are pretty lame animals, so it makes sense that they'd only have 6 chromosomes, I guess. So now what we do is we take those chromosomes. In our case, we have 46. We are going to pair them with look-alike chromosomes. So we're going to pair the largest chromosomes with the smallest ones. For example, this right here looks like a nice pair. These two are a pair, but we're going to go from largest to smallest by same shape. End result, we're going to get a karyotype. And a karyotype looks something like this. If you counted, I'm not going to count. There are 46 chromosomes in this karyotype. Notice how they are divided by like size and like shape. You can tell based off of this. These two right here, number 22, pretty small. One is pretty big. You might ask yourself, why is X so big? I thought we were labeling them by size. Well, we kind of are. We save those two for last because they are what we call a sex chromosome, and they're very important. So, what can we learn? Little daily hint question or daily question hint for you guys. I know the daily question. If you ask this, you should be able to find it. It's asked for two of these things. What can we learn from a karyotype? The number of chromosomes in an organism, which in this case, there are 46. I would assume this is a human. The sex of the child. How do we determine that? Oops, I'm sorry. Take a look at this. Females tend to have two X's. Males have one X and one Y. So this is a female sample right here. Any disorders, we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like, but some of you maybe have heard of Down syndrome, trisomy 21, and that would mean meaning 3. We have 3 chromosomes on the 21st set of chromosomes, so they would actually have 47 chromosomes. Haploid or diploid, this one's pretty easy. We look, if there's 2 per pair, that's diploid, 1 per pair, that's haploid, so this is a diploid. Pairs of chromosomes are called homologous pairs. Each pair carries different versions of genes. So this pair right here might actually carry a different version of that gene than this part of the pair right here. It all really depends. So sorry if I'm going kind of fast. I'm doing this kind of last minute to get it out on Google Classroom. All right, autosome versus sex chromosome. An autosome is any chromosome that is not a sex chromosome, aka somewhere between 1 and 44. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down to here to 44. These are all called autosomes. Sex chromosomes are right here. There's only 2. 2 X's in this case would be a female. They are called sex because they determine the male or female of the biological child. Okay. Oh my goodness, I can't figure out a good place to put my face. I apologize, guys. So next we have diploid versus haploid. This one's a little tricky. Basically, like I said, just look for this portion right here, di. Di usually means 2 chromosomes per number. That's a diploid. Haploid is 1/2 of the total number of chromosomes, or would be 23 chromosomes. 1 chromosome per number. So if we looked at a sex cell specifically, like a sperm cell, it would be haploid, and it would only have 23 chromosomes. Same with an egg. We looked at, say, a stomach cell, that would be diploid. 2 per pair. 2 per number, I should say. So this is a haploid example right here. 1 per pair. The only difference is, for some reason here, we have both our X and Y, which would tell me that this is a boy, biologically born. Haploid or diploid. This one's kind of hard to tell because I'm covering up the bottom there, but it is 2. This is a diploid example, and I believe it is the same example that we started with. Yes, look at that. 2 X chromosomes, so that's a female. Circle one homologous pair, right here, boom, or right here. Now it says labeled the 6 chromosomes, those would be right here. Finally, only took the whole presentation. How many chromosomes are there? I'm just going to spoil it for you guys. Pair, pair, pair. We have pairs all the way down to we get to 21. You see there are 3 chromosomes here. This is what I would call trisomy 21 or Down syndrome. This individual is also a female because they have 2 X chromosomes. So not always do we have 46. I just want to put it this way. Most of the time, humans will have 46 chromosomes, but that is not always the case. And there's obviously nothing wrong with having more or less than that. All right, so right here, again, this is kind of just getting redundant. I think this will probably be the last one that I do. If you take a look, we here only have 45 chromosomes. We have a single X, and that is just the way it is sometimes. So this is 45. Will be a female because there's no Y present. Disorders, yes, there will be a disorder. They only have 1 X chromosome. And haploid or diploid would be a diploid example to prepare. All right, well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will see you some other time because we are done with the PowerPoint. Good luck.